how petty, how small. It makes these two look so small.
The Princess of Wales, Kate, was going to return to public duties on the Trooping of the Colour, and so she did.
Okay, well, we have to be realistic that it was a one-time appearance and she will slowly phase back into royal life when she feels better. But what a thrill to see her. I mean, this is the first time we've seen her live in person since Christmas.
Right.
And you and I were just discussing off camera how amazing she looked. She looked gorgeous.
She did. She looked very, very pleased to be out there, didn't she?
She did.
She looked happy. She was with her children. She was with her family. And obviously she would know how important this was for all sorts of reasons.
Right.
I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the ridiculous notions and rumours that go on, but just to sort of show everyone that she is, you know, on the road to recovery. She said it's, you know, it's a long road, it's a difficult road, and you know there will be, you know, moments of being frightened and all the rest of it. But the children looked very happy. The family looked very happy. And
I think that that's a really great point. The children were gleeful. The children were carefree. And I feel like that's a good indication that things at home are good.
Right.
But she is a leader. I do believe that they want to squash some of the speculation which continues to circulate because the internet is a toxic hellhole.
It is.
But I also think that she knows that statistically, I mean, polling-wise, she is the most popular member of the British royal family all over the world. Yeah. And she is the future of the monarchy, so it's important that we see her. It's important that we see her well.
Not only was King Charles, he was able to attend the commemorations for 80th anniversary of D-Day, which would have been very, very important to him, but also to attend Troop of the Colour, which is a celebration of the King's birthday. We have the birthday honours, but also not just him recovering from his cancer treatment. Also, Kate, the Princess of Wales, made her first appearance, I mean, in public, as opposed to just a photograph in, what is that? Is that since December?
Since Christmas, yes. Since probably seeing at the church service on Christmas.
Dressed as Eliza Doolittle from My Fair Lady, looking absolutely stunning.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to consider, just like the King, it's all been done sort of with doctor's advice. Well, King is very hard to restrain, so he's been busy, and today we have the Garter ceremony as well at Windsor. But in terms of Princess of Wales, mentally she had to feel right as well, more than anything, because we knew the moment she said she's her first public appearance, and this is a high-profile one, every moment is going to be analysed. Yeah. And I have to say, if you probably compared a photograph from Saturday to the birthday parade last year, you wouldn't probably have noticed much difference. So a good effort to get back out there.
I also worry, and this won't be popular, that because of the criticism from many quarters and because of the online stuff, that she felt forced.
Oh my gosh, I felt
to
the same
do this,
way.
and I'm not sure whether she should have had to do that, if I'm honest.
I completely agree with you. I want to believe that she was there because she wanted to support the King. She wanted to support Prince William, who has taken on so much more responsibility since both the King and the Princess of Wales's cancer diagnosis. But I do feel a little bit like the online misinformation, it was starting to ramp up again, and you know, they just wanted to squash that and not allow it to get as chaotic as it had previously.
How do you know how she is? Do you know how she's doing or not?
I mean, I feel like she looked amazing. I feel like one of the best indicators was that Prince Louis was living his best life. You know, he was so full of, you know, joy and silliness and entertaining. And, you know, I think that that's a good indication that things at home are positive and uplifting. Otherwise, I don't think we would have seen the children so happy and sweet.
The King and the Princess of Wales on the balcony, standing side by side. Do you think that was deliberate, the positioning, the Princess of Wales?
I don't know. I mean, I looked back at the footage from last year, and obviously it was William shoulder by shoulder with his father. I suspect it might well have been. I mean, the King has been a massive pillar of support to Catherine. I mean, don't forget when when you think about it, they were in the same hospital, both of them undergoing treatment. He went to spend some time with her when she was in hospital. It feels like he's been with her every step of this journey. And so I think possibly that positioning was quite deliberate. I mean, I think the most important thing was that she felt safe on that day. We assumed she was having a good day, but she needed to feel safe. I mean, you know, Arthur, she looked $1 million. She really was knockout, resplendent in white. But I sort of imagine her a bit like a swan, you know, like gliding and looking majestic, but underneath the water, paddling through it. The nerves that must have been involved because
Katie,
of the pressure.
And knowing that being her first appearance and at
Absolutely.
such a high-profile event, and that everybody was going to be scrutinising her for any signs that, you know, how is she doing? How does she look? Has she lost her hair?
Absolutely. I mean, she had the world's cameras on her. So I think to be flanked by her father-in-law, who's been that great support, her husband, with her 3 children in front of her, would have given her that confidence and that safety to be able to go out and do something that must have been very daunting.
And actually, she took part, Rob, in the full event, because she could have just stepped out onto the balcony, couldn't she, alongside the family?
I think
but to be with the children in the carriage procession.
I think she had to sort of also be marshalling the kids as well, and I think that was quite important. But she's quite a steely character. I mean, I would have thought she would have risen to that occasion. She knew being it was all eyes were going to be on her, but I actually think that she would have put a lot of effort into that. She got the look exactly right, as Arthur and Katie was saying, but I think also it was important for her to be there for the regiment, but also for her children. She knows that that's such an important look for the royal family going forward. They are the future royal family, and to support the king, which I think is very, very important. He supported her, and she wanted to support him. I think it was the ideal moment for her to make a sort of partial comeback. We all know that as she said, she's not out of the woods yet, but I think we will see a bit more of her coming towards the autumn.
We saw, didn't we, Catherine trooping? Some people were saying to me after that she only went because of pressure. She looked well. I mean, I get into... She looked... I think that the king looks tired. You would be if you're going through that. She was there for one day.
Yeah.
Do you think it was important that she did trooping or not?
I think it was, because I think the imagery was very important. You got... Otherwise, it would have been William with the 3 children on their own. I don't think that would have been necessarily the right look. Everyone then would be asking, "Where's Kate? How's Kate? What? How's she coming along?" So I think the fact that she felt well enough to be there, but of course, in that whole situation, you're a bit further detached from the public. Yes, you are on display, but you're not really actively involved with the public. So I think it was a family day. I think that it was important that she was on the balcony. It's the day that we see Louis, it's the day we see Charlotte and George, so it's important that she was there as Mum, Corral and them as well. Yeah, I think it was right that she was there, and the Irish Guards were there too, so I think it was important as a colonel of them that she was there and supporting the king. But it's now very much his time, and you can sense that, and I think it was important in that respect then that you've got Catherine and William and the next generation on the balcony supporting their king, and I think that it worked very well. Yeah, she did look good, and I think that immaculate actually. And she really did make a great impression on the day.
Also, it was lovely to see today the royal family rallying around Lady Gabriella Windsor. This is the young lady whose husband
passed away. Yeah,
in February. Pictures of her arriving today, which was nice. They're quite good at that, the royal family, aren't they?
They were, and I don't think that we definitely didn't expect to see her throughout the Ascot experience. So to see the royal family, you saw these great pictures of Zara throwing her arms around her. Zara is just so sweet.
Well, we saw a strong display of family unity this week as the royal family rallied around to show their support for Lady Gabriella Windsor at Royal Ascot. This was her first official public appearance since the death of her husband, Thomas Kingston. She was in the carriage procession. She was met with a warm embrace by Zara Tindall. She was sat alongside the Princess Royal. I thought, Katie, it was extremely courageous of her to make this public appearance.
It was. I agree with you.
At a very difficult time.
Well, I mean, how emotive that must have been for her, because the last time she was at Ascot, she had her husband by her side, and she's gone through an awful time. And I think it was very, very brave and courageous of her to do that, and lovely to see, as you say, the family rallying around her, and that sort of embrace from Zara. Do you know, when thinking all of this and their cancer journeys and in the terrible suicide of Thomas Kingston, these are real things. These happen to people. These happen to families. And so in many ways, it's proven to be a great leveller. I think the royal family is more relatable to now than ever before, because we're seeing them as real people.
I was looking at the royals in their entirety yesterday. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of kisses, a lot of people being, in effect, Well, it was just, there was a nice atmosphere, wasn't there, amongst the royal family?
Yeah, it was a day of kissing cousins, if you like. I mean, Zara Phillips seemed to be the glue to it all, and they were, taps on the shoulder and hugs and kisses. And William, although Catherine wasn't there, we didn't expect her to be there.
No.
Her mum and dad were there, and all the other cousins as well, Eugenie and Beatrice. So I think it was a nice day, actually, for William. And he shared the carriage going in with the Queen. I was due to go on Tuesday, actually. I didn't go this year. I don't know why. I was working.
No, me, John, we'll have to go next year, mate. We'll have to.
Yeah,
It's absolutely outrageous.
But meanwhile, you mentioned the Montecito massive. They just had to get something done, didn't they? They had to get an announcement out.
Is this not the most... I mean, I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. I thought it was a joke. Harry's BFF, polo BFF, Nacho, posting on Instagram gifts from Meghan Markle, a raspberry jam.
Right.
She's extended the brand. We've gone on to raspberry. And dog biscuits.
Dog biscuits.
And this, of course, just hours before, all eyes are on on Trooping the Colour, the whole world watching this beautiful display. And I think that a lot of us predicted this. How are Harry and Meghan going to try to disrupt Trooping the Colour? How are they going to try to distract from the royal family looking strong, powerful, and influential? And they did it with dog biscuits.
They came up with the dog biscuits. I mean, it is pathetic. It's almost as though now they've run out of road, haven't they? They've kind of gone, well, I guess we're just going to have to kind of raise the white flag, but try and go somehow gracefully. Dog biscuits really not the way to go, though.
Exactly. I don't know if Meghan's trying to transition her brand and to be earthy, like I'm making my own jam, feed your dog organic dog biscuits. I don't know if she's trying to say I'm earthy and change her brand or whatever, her reputation, I guess I could say. But she's going to have a hard time shaking her mean girl reputation.
Yes.
They've run out of family secrets.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a significant amount of pages left out of Spare, so I think that's Harry's last-ditch effort if he has to go there. But realistically, now they're trying to shove down our throats entertainment content, Meghan gardening, Meghan in the kitchen, Harry on a polo field, and that's going to be a hard sell, so they're going to have to break out and do some media for that. So I think we are likely to see more Harry and Meghan because it's going to be a hard sell, this polo content. Meghan stirring a bowl of dog biscuits in a kitchen, I just don't think that that's necessarily something that the audience is yearning for.
No.
Just because I want to explain the PR from Meghan's side. So basically today was Trooping the Colour, Kate's back in the spotlight, and suddenly this morning Meghan Markle has released a new batch of jams and dog biscuits. And Prince Harry's friend, a famous polo player, Nacho, posted to his 600,000 followers promoting the new jam
raspberry.
biscuits.
It's a raspberry jam. That's very original, isn't it?
And it's just hours before, Trooping the Colour. And I think that's a PR stunt from her team. They've just given these products to 50 celebrities to promote them.
Harry and Meghan, stateside, what's happening? Heard anything?
I mean, they decided to drop some dog biscuits on the day of Trooping the Colour.
Dog biscuits?
American Riviera Orchard now inevitably going to offer dog biscuits.
So is this her company that made jam?
Yes. So
did you get any jam?
I don't. If I did, it would be laced with something that I'm not comfortable consuming. But So one of Harry's very good friends, who he plays polo with, Nacho, posted on Instagram.
Nacho.
He posted on Instagram some new raspberry jam that Meghan apparently is distributing to high-profile clients, and then dog biscuits. But this was hours before Trooping, which
Nacho Figueroa, right, the polo player.
Yes. So it seemed kind of shady to do that.
Do you know, I didn't always think about them, and I know it annoys people because they say you're always having a go at them. I believe that they are that couple. Everything is premeditated. There's always a reason for a behaviour. There's always a reason for them doing something. I said 5 years ago, and I nearly got thrown off the air.
Uh-oh.
I said within
so why are you repeating it?
Yeah, because I don't care. Because I'm right. Within 5 years, he will be back in the United Kingdom with his ginger tail between his legs, and she will be in California with 2 children.
And Meghan, over in California, announced she was launching a range of dog biscuits. Can you believe that?
You've got to be kidding me right meow. That times are rough over in Montecito when it's dog biscuits that you're trying to use to upstage the Princess of Wales. It's absolutely ludicrous, and I think I sent you a text message immediately afterwards that said, this has got to be a joke. I can't believe, well, I said I called it. I definitely said I called it. But I also think I said, I can't believe this is real, because how petty, how small. It makes these two look so small, because you're right, that letter from Catherine was sincere, it was authentic, it was vulnerable, and then here comes the self-promotion train that is the Sussex team. If you can't buy the product on American Riviera Orchard.com, which you can't, then what this amounts to...
Can't buy anything on it.
Exactly, then what this amounts to is just self-promotion. And I think it's killing Harry and Meghan right now, because we've had Trooping the Colour, we have Royal Ascot. This is a time where the royal family, I mean, it's a very brief blitz, because we've got the general election, and we know they're trying to pull back on some of these engagements until July 4th. But for the most part, like, Prince Harry must be sitting back watching his old world and thinking, I miss that aspect of my life. I'm sitting here in Montecito, California with no friends except for Ellen DeGeneres. And I'm sure that he misses the beauty of his old world.
Yeah, and I'm just reading Clemmy Moody's column in The Sun, which came just after the dog biscuit launch. She said, well, this launch of the dog biscuits was at best ill-timed. I think she's been very generous there. But then Clemmy goes on to say, at worst, pretty callous. This wasn't ill-timed, it was deliberately timed. There's no doubt. She does this every single time. If someone else is going to get the limelight, particularly if it's her hated rival, Kate, who she really does not... Who
wouldn't share her lip gloss with her. Well, if that's the worst thing you do, we're having a good day. You won't share your lip gloss.
So if it's a chance to steal some of the limelight from Kate, Meghan will do it. That's what's happened here. But I mean, as I say, callous timing, deliberate timing, in my view, that is. I mean, Meghan might want to deny that, but it is a bit odd. She hasn't said anything for weeks. Suddenly, day of Trooping the Colour, I've got these dog biscuits, you want to buy them?
Well, they were very strategic in the way that they had Prince Harry's best friend, and you know how they burn bridges with friendships. They're not. They don't communicate with the woman that Jessica Mulroney, Meghan's stylist for her wedding, that is married to Ben Mulroney. They connected her to so many people in Toronto, Canada. That was a very important friend to her. She's blown through her friends the same way she no longer communicates with her family. Nacho, Harry's friend that posted this content to Instagram, would not jeopardize his relationship with Prince Harry by posting something that might get him in trouble. There had to have been permission there. It does seem very deliberate, and I feel like there's no question in my mind that the objective was to distract from Trooping the Colour and potentially distract from the Princess of Wales' return.
Meghan Markle has been criticised for launching a new range of jam and dog biscuits on the same day as Princess Kate's return to the spotlight. Is it true or is it false? Now, she does have form, doesn't she? She tried to upstage Princess Charlotte's 6th birthday, which was pretty embarrassing,
I have to admit, trying to upstage a child's birthday, I thought was an act of desperation, but I was surprised that this happened, Although, am I surprised that it happened? It is Meghan Markle. But it's one of those things that, yes, she brought out, I think it was dog biscuits, jam, and there was a couple of other things, and it was all done through one of Prince Harry's polo friends, which I was like, well, here we go, this is how it starts. But, it just annoyed me.
She's almost like a sort of 18th century market hawker from Petticoat Lane.
Yeah, but this is the thing. She's now just become like a bargain bin basement kind of person, hasn't she? She's just trying to sell you stuff. It's gone from being this kind of, we want to influence things and we want to kind of lead on major topics and social injustice to, here's some jam I want to sell. It is talk about a fall from grace.
Meghan Markle has received widespread backlash for launching a new American Riviera Orchard product before Trooping the Colour. A close friend of the couple posted pictures of a new jam and dog biscuits on the eve of the special occasion on social media. They appeared to be new products from Meghan's brand. Katie, it's a difficult one, this, isn't it? Because it wasn't the Sussexes themselves posting this. It was a friend, but the timing came just as the Princess of Wales was about to make her comeback at Trooping the Colour.
It's always, but with the Sussexes, it feels like it's always in the timing. I don't think anyone has a problem with their friends flogging their ridiculously overpriced jam or dog biscuits or whatever it is. But for it to come on the eve of such an important occasion, it just feels tone deaf. And, whether Nacho had consulted Harry or not, possibly it was just an awkward coincidence, but I think it just doesn't serve the Sussexes well in any shape or form.
But they're out, aren't they? I mean, if you're not on the grid, you can't work out when things should be released and not. They're no longer members of the royal family.
Mind you, the date
they knew trooping was coming. They knew trooping was coming. Harry would have known that.
They're going to do whatever they can to make money.
Of course, they're going to flog it.
That's what if they can
make it, they've basically got.
They know that they've got to sell. Otherwise, they've got no money coming in. They can't rely on spare for the rest of their lives.
Well, let's stay with the Duchess of Sussex. A new bombshell biography about the Beckhams by celebrity biographer Tom Bower has claimed that the Duchess of Sussex deluded herself into thinking she was of a higher social status than Victoria Beckham. In a tell-all book, The House of Beckham, Bower claims Meghan Markle put on airs around the former posh spice as she believed her marriage into the royal family put her into a higher rank. Bower wrote, as a seasoned operator, Meghan deluded herself that her status in the royal family placed her above Victoria in the social pecking order. Katie, it's not the first story we've had of rivalry between Meghan and Victoria.
No.
How much do we read into this?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to be a fly on the wall between any of the meetings that had happened between them. I mean, I wouldn't want to mess with Victoria. She's a very, very strong, feisty woman, and obviously traits that Meghan has as well. I mean, who knows? It all sort of felt like it was starting quite positively between the Sussexes and the Beckhams, because you remember when the Sussexes were renting that place in the Cotswolds, very close to the Beckhams, and Harry and David have always got on. I mean, Robert, we were on that tour, the world tour, back in 2010, and there was always really nice banter between David and both William and Harry. But for whatever reason, it just looks like the Beckhams have distanced themselves, as have other high-profile celebrities from the Sussexes.
Supposedly that they were accused of leaking stories to the press, something Victoria was pretty fed up about. And there was apparently this phone call between Harry and David, and very awkward.
David now just makes honey and just gets on well with the king making honey.
I think David and Victoria put their flag in that camp.
on being Sir David.
Yeah, 100%.
He wants that,
and I think he's going to get it.
Yeah. He's not going to side with the Sussexes. He's going to get his knighthood.
The Sussex don't give out knighthoods.
No.
They had this friendship, Posh and Bex, with Harry and Meghan. But that all went a bit sour when Meghan decided. Now, I've known the Beckhams. I mean, I don't know them personally, but I've reported on the Beckhams for many years. And one thing I'll say about both of them, they don't sell stories. I mean, they don't like stories being sold on them, but they don't do it themselves. Harry and Meghan came to believe that Victoria had been selling stories about them. And there was a confrontation between David and Harry about that. And relations remained frosty between the four of them.
Well, I exposed that. It did. I mean, there was a belief by Meghan, who is hypersensitive, that she had to sell stories about herself, which she did with huge numbers, that Victoria had leaked that she'd given Meghan some makeup advice. But what was fascinating about this story is that Harry, having confronted David, then backs off and asks him to come to Sydney to pose in there and stay in the Invictus Games that Harry was running out there in 2018. Bex and the family, including Victoria, all go there. Victoria on the way crying her eyes out because Beckham had said in an interview that the marriage with her was hard and complicated. And then when he gets to the stadium in Sydney, Harry snubs him, refuses to meet him. And Bex is actually puzzled, having gone literally all around the world to meet him, and discovers that Meghan doesn't want any photographs of her and of him and Bex and Posh in Sydney, which will deflect attention from herself. So that went down pretty badly as well.
Harry and Meghan apparently reach out to Kate Middleton. Is that true?
I mean, there was this talk, wasn't there?
No.
Do they reach out?
Shut up and make jam is what I want to say, but there we go.
I think that they released their jam and their new dog biscuits or biscuits and whatever. I mean, it's a real. Every time I hear anything about Harry and Meghan now, I do feel a bit sad, because really they did just, these two, for a moment, if they just had shown a little bit of patience, a little bit of understanding the order of things, they would have been in a very good position.